Okay, so P is a 3-float number. What's a float? Our computer science people? Where are you? We have no, what are numbers? We've got integers, right? We know what integers are, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. No decimals. A float has decimals. Okay? It's just a number type. And point position XYZ is 3 floats. 3 floats XYZ. Let's say I put down, in Houdini there's kind of like 2 types of attributes. There's attributes that Houdini knows about. We'll call them like reserve attributes, like P. Houdini made that for you, made this attribute for you. It knows what P is, but we will be making custom attributes too. But let's talk about just the concept. Okay, I added color. So let's see what this looks like. It's just white. You really can't see it. I can, change it to another color, and then we see, the color. We now added a color attribute, and you can see this color attribute here. Again, color is 3 floats. A lot of times we use 3 floats and vectors interchangeably, so you'll notice that when you move on in Houdini and watch tutorials, vectors also are 3 floats. It has a little bit of extra information when you're dealing with velocity and normals and up vectors. Those also have direction, length. But to just not confuse you guys, I'm going to call these 3 floats. 3 floats here, color and point position. There's something else though. Do you notice that this guy is highlighted? And if I go right here to what we call primitives, but really they're faces, there's nothing there. So here's the thing. Attributes live on geometry components. A geometry component is like a point, a face, a vertice. It could be an entire object. That's the detail. Those are detail attributes. So it's 4 things: points, vertices, primitives, which are faces, and the detail attribute, which is the whole object. If I were to put down a node called attribute create, it basically has the anatomy of what an attribute is. First, you have a name. An attribute has a name. So if you look at CD, which is color, R, G, and B, the name of the color attribute is uppercase C, lowercase d. Now, this is what Houdini knows this name. It's a reserve attribute. Then you've got what they call class, which is where does this geometry live? It could live on the point, it can live on the primitive, it could live anywhere. Then, what's the data type? Float, integer, vector, string, arrays. We'll say float, and then we'll say a float of 3. A float of 3. And then we can say, well, the values, remember, what is black? Does anyone know what the values of black are?
255 and all 3 channels.
0, 0, 0.
Oh, right.
We go for in Houdini, yeah, I think that's a different color scale maybe, but like in Houdini it's just 0, 1. 1 is white, 0 is black. And if we just, we could say 1, 0, 0 to make red. We could say 1, 1, 0 to make yellow. And then all all the ones, you're going to get white. Put a 0 in green and you get purple because you only have blue and red.
Sorry, could you remind me how to select the object instead of the attribute?
Display flag. Is that what you want?
Yeah, I guess.
And then, yeah, display flag, display flag, display flag. So, again, you see these values kind of come up here. But let's say I want my color to not be on my points. So let's say if I go back to my color node, not my attribute create, I can say random. I want random colors on my sphere. We go to our geometry spreadsheet and we see now all of our RGB is all scrambled up. We've got different values on R, G, and B. I can say primitive, and now look at my primitive attributes, and now RGB are all on my faces, and now it looks like that. Because now the color is on my faces, not my points. Okay? So I just wanted to do a little mini lecture on attributes. So we did a little segue from the forest. We're going back now. But attributes are also like a totally new concept. So it's just important to kind of reinforce that. Yeah. This guy? Oh, so do you have just like one big window or? No worries. So do you see this little plus sign right here? It's a little plus. So I want you to click on that and go to New Pane Tab Type, Network View. Let me come. And now go and see the mountain you're working on. Do you know which one? You made it a couple of times, so you probably delete the other guess. Well, actually, just you can say it. I don't think that's the right one. I would go out. That's the outside. So do me a favor, so you don't get confused. Delete everything that's not green. So go back up. And delete the the other green. I don't know why. Just do delete. Yeah. There you go. And go, let's go inside and make sure we're good. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else need help? Okay. So let's go back to our terrain. I've got my terrain out, and the reason why I wanted to talk about attributes is because now when you look at your geometry spreadsheet, it gave you like a million attributes here. Flow direction, water, flow, debris, color, bedrock, and we can have some fun with that. Okay. Now things are gonna get interesting. Okay. It's, I have like different versions of this file that's like a little, some are a little more intermediate than others. Are you guys okay with like getting put into the flame a little bit here? Yeah? Oh, you're gonna be okay? Okay. It's hard to know how beginner to make it, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I had a question about.
Yeah. Right. So go here, and then I want you to right click on that frame. Delete channels. And now it's frozen on frame 53. Okay. Actually, why don't I think my original schedule had this time on a break, and I think we could use a little bathroom break. So let's meet back after that.